Title: The Echoes of a Love Unraveled. In the quaint town of Eldridge, where the sun dipped behind the hills like a shy child, lived Clara. She was a dreamer, with tousled hair and paint-stained fingers, often found wandering through the fields, sketchbook in hand. Clara's heart, however, carried an ache that was invisible to the outside world, a broken love that whispered its sorrows in the stillness of the night. It all began 3 years earlier when Clara met Ethan. He was everything she had ever wanted, passionate, adventurous, and with a smile that could light up the darkest corners of her soul. They met at an art exhibition where Clara's sketches adorned the walls, and Ethan was captivated by her talent and spirit. Their connection was instantaneous, like a spark igniting a flame. In the early days of their romance, each moment felt like a brushstroke on the canvas of their lives. They spent hours exploring the hidden corners of Eldridge, dancing in the rain, and sharing secrets under the stars. Clara often found herself lost in Ethan's deep brown eyes, which held promises of forever. He would whisper, "We're a masterpiece in the making," and Clara would laugh, her heart swelling with hope. Yet as seasons changed, so did their love. Ethan, an aspiring musician, began to chase his dreams with vigor. He spent late nights pouring his soul into melodies, and Clara, though supportive, felt the distance growing between them. She would wait for him, sketching their shared moments, each stroke a reminder of the love they once knew. One evening, as the golden hues of sunset washed over Eldridge, Clara invited Ethan to a small cafe by the river. With freshly baked pastries and steaming cups of coffee, she felt hopeful. But as they sat together, the air thick with unspoken words, Clara noticed the shadows that danced behind Ethan's eyes. "Clara," Ethan started, his voice trembling like autumn leaves in the wind. "I've been offered a chance to tour with a band. It's everything I've wanted." Her heart sank, but Clara knew how much this meant to him. "That's amazing, Ethan. You should take it," she replied, forcing a smile. Ethan's gaze faltered. "But it means I'll be gone for months at a time. I don't want to lose what we have." Clara's heart raced. "We won't lose it. We can make it work. We can write letters or video call." The promise hung in the air like a fragile bubble. But deep down, Clara sensed the truth. Love can sometimes be a cruel paradox, where good intentions clash with reality. As the weeks turned into months, Ethan's absence carved a void in Clara's life. She poured her emotions into her art, but every brushstroke felt heavy with longing. They would talk on video calls, but the connection was never the same. Where laughter once echoed, silence crept in, and Clara found herself clinging to memories like lifebuoys in a stormy sea. One rainy afternoon, as Clara sat in her studio, she received a message from Ethan. "Clara, I need to talk." Panic gripped her heart. She could sense the weight of the words that were about to come. When they finally spoke, it was under the dim light of her studio. Ethan's face appeared on the screen, his expression a mix of sorrow and determination. "Clara, I love you, but I can't keep doing this. The distance is tearing us apart." Tears streamed down Clara's face as she listened to the words she had dreaded. "But we can try. We can make it work, Ethan." He sighed, the sound heavy with regret. "I don't think it's fair to either of us. I need to focus on my music. You deserve someone who can be there for you, not someone who's always miles away." Clara's world crumbled. The colors that once painted her life faded into shades of gray. They hung up, and she felt as if the very air had been sucked out of her lungs. Days turned into weeks, and Clara found herself trapped in a whirlwind of emotions. She wandered the fields, sketchbook in hand, but instead of capturing beauty, she poured her heartache onto the pages. Each stroke was a lament, a tribute to a love that had slipped through her fingers like sand. Her friends tried to console her, urging her to move on. "You'll find someone else, Clara," they would say. But they didn't understand. The memories of Ethan lingered like a haunting melody, filling every corner of her mind. Then, one evening, she decided to attend a local open mic night. As she sat in the dim cafe, surrounded by strangers, she saw him, a musician, strumming a guitar with passion and grace. His music resonated with Clara, filling her with a bittersweet nostalgia. She realized that art could heal, just as it could hurt. Compelled by the moment, Clara took a deep breath and approached the stage. She poured her heart into a song that spoke of love lost and dreams abandoned, the lyrics flowing like a river of sorrow. The audience was captivated, and for a fleeting moment, Clara found solace in the shared experience of heartbreak. As the final notes hung in the air, the audience erupted into applause. Clara felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of connection that had been missing in her life. In that moment, she realized that while love could fail, art could transform pain into something beautiful. Months passed, and Clara began to regain her footing. She opened an art studio where she taught children to express their emotions through painting. She discovered that sharing her experiences helped others heal too, creating a community bound by shared heartaches. Then, one evening, as she was closing up her studio, she received a message that jolted her heart. It was from Ethan, asking if they could meet. Memories flooded back, both joyous and painful. Clara hesitated, but ultimately agreed, driven by curiosity and a flicker of hope. They met at the same cafe by the river, where their love had first blossomed. Clara's heart raced as she saw Ethan walk in, his eyes searching for hers. He looked different, older, and perhaps a little more worn, but the familiar warmth still lingered. "Clara," he began, his voice steady yet vulnerable, "I've missed you. I thought time apart would help me understand what I wanted, but all I've done is realize how much you mean to me." Clara's breath caught in her throat. "Ethan, I've been on my own journey too. I've learned to love myself again, to find strength in the pain." Ethan nodded, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I don't expect us to pick up where we left off, but I want you to know that I'm here. I want to be part of your life again, even if it looks different." Clara smiled through her tears. In that moment, she understood the beauty of love, not as a possession, but as a connection that evolves and changes. They spoke late into the night, sharing their journeys, their dreams, and their fears, both aware that love could be both a failure and a rebirth. As the sun painted the sky with hues of dawn, Clara felt a sense of peace wash over her. She had learned to embrace the echoes of her heartache, to find beauty in the scars that love had left behind. And while the future remained uncertain, Clara knew she was no longer defined by a love that had failed. Instead, she was a vibrant canvas, ready to paint new stories, filled with hope and endless possibilities.